Okay, here he is. I did see that somebody was watching and then they disappeared just before I showed up on screen, and I am sorry, but you know, that's the way it goes. That is the way it goes. Right. Well, I's here. I is here. Yeah, I've been away for like 3 days. It feels like it's more, but it's only been 3 days. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit skittish right now because the spiders are awake in my office. I mean, they've been awake all winter, but there's like there's just a couple of big boys, or I should say big girls, that are about. Good spiders though. No daddy long legs is bullshit. So that's nice. But yeah. And I shouldn't really be this skittish, but I don't know why. For some reason I am. I think it's just because like my mobility over the past couple of days has just been a bit meh. But yeah, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I had a nap, and then I came and nap. I sleep a small sleep. I had a small sleep, and I came in here. I'll just talk about sleep as maybe you're fuck. Yeah, but I came in here, and absolutely massive spider, just there. Um, yeah, it's really big. It's like about that big. I mean, about probably bigger if she kind of like was flat, but she wasn't. She was kind of curled, like crawling up, well, just frozen on the wall. Nothing I can do about it. If they're really big spiders and they're kind of like within range of maybe dropping on me or something, I sometimes do something about them. You know, I try to get them onto a bit of paper, or last case scenario, my hand, and then take them outside and then get them off of my hand, get them off my hand. But no, she was in a place that was relatively safe. It's just that the size of her was kind of like very distracting for a little bit while I was in here. But she fairly quickly disappeared behind the wall, so I can't do anything about her. She's kind of like in a crack. You see this shelf? You see this shelf? Well, she's like on the other side of the wall. There's like this bit underneath the shelf, and she's in there somewhere. And I haven't put a torch on it or anything, just in case she just wanted to be in the dark, and also so that I don't see her and know that she's there all the time watching me. You know, it's a little bit creepy, but you know, I mean, they're good. Spiders are good in farms. You know, basically, I live in the middle of farmland, and they're good. They do keep away a lot of bugs. They keep away a lot of bugs. The only problem is that spiders themselves sometimes creep people out, and although they don't creep me out, they do make me startled. They can startle me. You know, I have the initial kind of like reaction whenever I see a spider, or it just kind of like enters my peripheral vision or something. You know, um, so there's that. But I mean, she's harmless. She's just a big girl, and hopefully she'll stay there. I mean, I'm just a little bit hesitant because the last time I had a big spider, like it might have even been her. I don't know. I doubt it's her. But um, basically, I saw a spider about that size in my office before. I saw it crawling up the wall. It went all the way up to the ceiling, and then it went all the way over to here on the ceiling, and then it crawled onto the conduit that basically was attached to the light that's above me. The strip light. There's a strip light above me, and it fell off because you know it's a strip light. It's very smooth. It basically it does, you know, the ends of it are kind of like just it's very smooth plastic, and yeah, it kind of went over to the strip light. Once it got on the strip light, it couldn't hold itself, and it fell. onto my leg. Luckily, I was wearing a robe at the time, so yeah, like I couldn't get it off. I did one sweep of my hand like that. My hand felt the entire spider kind of like cringe into the dressing gown, into the robe. It kind of like it kind of hardened itself into a shell, a protective shell, over, while my hand slid over it. It didn't get off my dressing gown. So what I had to do to stop it, because it started to crawl, I basically just very very calmly just slid out my arms of the dressing gown and the robe. We call it a dressing gown in the UK, okay? And then I kind of like I just took it off myself, and I left the office. I don't think actually. No, I didn't leave the office. I picked up the dressing gown, then I left the office, and then I was shaking the dressing gown, and then once I was fairly certain that it was, oh, that one's going. So there's a smaller spider just there on the window, and it's like hiding. It's going back into its hiding place. It's not much smaller. It's about that big, but yeah. You're not moving anymore. It's the sound, because they don't really care about like artificial sounds, TV sounds and stuff. Somehow they tune that out. But sounds coming from like a voice box or an animal or something, they can hear that. They can hear that. So like it disturbs them if I basically speak, if I move my feet. They're very very akin, they're very sensitive to vibrations, spiders. Anyway, yeah. And then I put the dressing gown into the house so that, well, I wasn't wearing it anymore. So yeah, it might have been an elaborate plan of the spider to basically drop onto me, onto my dressing gown, so that I would shake it outside, but it would be safe in the dressing gown still, and then it would be taken into the warm house. It might have been a ploy by that spider, but I don't think it was. I think it did leave the dressing gown when I shook it outside of my office. Hopefully, anyway. So yeah, I mean that whole experience though, with the whole random surprise and a spider suddenly being on me and stuff like that, has made me kind of like a bit more skittish of spiders in my office. I mean, they all know the rules. Hopefully, you guys all know the rules. If you're going to be in my office, all you have to do is basically not be anywhere near the desk, which is why she's a bit concerning, because she was very close to the desk. On my chair, and to not make webs on my desk or the chair. I prefer that they didn't make webs anywhere, but because I got to get things in my office, and they have made webs on everything in my office, even the chair and the desk. But I mean, like, none of the well-trafficked areas of my office are webbed up, so I mean that's good. It's mainly just like the window. The reason why I don't show you guys that side of the office is that basically, I never turn the camera that way if I can help it. Is because there are spider webs every fucking place. Just this whole area, just lots of spider webs. And you could argue that I could tidy up a bit. I could dust more or something, but it won't help. The webs magically appear again, like almost instantly. It's very creepy. It's not cool. I wish spiders wouldn't do this, but I understand this is the way they hunt. I've got to deal with it. I live in an office. It's a thing. Another one just walked past the the mug that's over there. Stop it. Stop jump scaring me, guys. Stop it. But yeah, you guys know this, spiders. You know this. You just got to be out of my way, because I don't want to kill you. Because if you startle me, I could murder you. I don't want to do that. Because I really do actually like spiders. Spiders are really, really cool. I really like the cute ones as well. It's a shame that they decide to jump out at me sometimes, and I have to murder them. It's kind of one of those reactions, you know. I either go ah, or you know, it's it's one of those. It's mostly the scared part, but I have done, I regret it, squish things that jump out at me. It's not cool. Why is my nose running? It's not cold. It's really not. I actually don't need this. It's actually getting a bit annoying because this thing's good. It really does keep my legs warm somehow, even though they're not covered up. But it makes my neck really hot. You know, I wish I could just do that and then keep it like that. But then my shoulders get really hot. I can't win. I can't win. But it's the second I take this off and put it in the house, you know for a fact that it's going to get fucking cold. Anyway, yeah. So the reason why I haven't been around for the past couple of days, well, you guys know probably by now. Anybody that's been watching, hi by the way, Panafox. Anybody that's been watching my live streams for more than like a year or so, has basically figured out that I had a big boo boo. I had a big boo boo. I had a big boo boo. I basically. I had a motorcycle accident. Well, it was a quad bike accident. It was a big one. I was squished between the planet Earth and a really heavy quad bike. I was like ATV, but I hate it when people call ATVs quad bikes or quad bikes ATVs. I hate that. I don't know why. But I was trying my bestest not to make that mistake out loud for you guys. And I succeeded, kind of. But yeah, I caught myself before I said that. But yeah, I used to have one. It was a it was a beautiful thing. I really do kind of miss it now. At the time, I was like not so fussed about if it like survived or if you know where it went, what happened to it afterwards. But yeah, basically, I had my legs were destroyed. You know, my legs and my hip was broken. There was even some rib damage. I was in a bad way basically. Fortunately, most of my innards, most of my torso was fine and healed by itself. However, my legs and some of my hip and my tailbone, basically, they all had to be reconstructed. I had to have reconstruction surgery and stuff for, you know, just putting the bones back in the right places and stuff like that. It was super cool, guys. It was super awesome. But when they did this, they basically, you know, I had to have a bunch of surgeries. I had to be cut open. There was a lot of deep scar tissue, all that stuff. It was a whole big thing. But no, after my surgery, my mother actually, like, when I was telling her about my current situation, she basically said, "It's like, oh, that's weird. They said that wouldn't happen, and like, you know, that probably wouldn't happen." Like a couple of years after the surgery, that probably was just one of those things when you were in recovery. You know, after you had all your surgeries, they did tell you, while you know, before you were discharged, that they will want to know if basically any of the scar tissue gets infected somehow. I never understood how this could be infected because it's scar tissue in my body, right? How would that get infected? That doesn't, yeah. Anyway, that didn't happen for a long time. And then 10 years later, 15 years later, I basically had what's called an abscess, or basically an infection. Like basically it's an infected part of your body, but it's deep, and it's basically like a boil or spot or it's called an abscess. It's just really annoying. Basically, it's a sack of pus that just randomly appears when it gets infected, and it can happen around scar tissue and stuff. And this is what happened to my leg, which is really fun because I've got a big trip coming up. This was going to bum me out like super much. I thought that this might be like annoying because, yeah, I'm gonna have to get some really high strength painkillers or something, and then basically really enjoy my holiday with a giant lump on my leg. That'll be fun. Yeah, I say a lump on my leg. It's because it's actually in my leg. It was actually in my leg. My entire thigh swelled up because it was in it. There was a thing in it. And it basically then comes to the surface, and then it makes a lot of mess, and that's super fun. And I don't really want to tell you about it because it is gross. And if you can see the floor in my office, I'm not going to show you the floor in my office. It's bad. It's bad. But yeah, for the first couple of days when it was really bad, the first day it was painful, really painful, because it inflames the tissue around it as it rises to the surface. So it was like super painful, and I've had abscesses before. I had one on my armpit once, and it was one of those things where basically it was like a red hot poker was continuously on my underarm forever. That's what it felt like, to the point where I basically grabbed it and just squeezed the fuck out of it. You should never do this. You should never ever do this, because what will happen is that it will burst, but it might not burst out of your body. It might burst in your body and cause major infection and give you something called sepsis, which could be fatal. But I couldn't fucking take it anymore. So I squeezed the fuck out of it, and it burst outside of my body and basically made a mess on my hand, because it is mostly blood. It's blood and pus together, which basically makes this kind of like not as deep as blood red, kind of fluidy goo stuff, whatever. But yeah, it was like so much relief. It was so good. So yeah, I did this to my leg. I didn't do it right away. On the second day, I woke up and it was still in pain. I was still in pain, like a lot of pain, and I couldn't fucking take it anymore. So I'd already tried the squeezy method. The squeezy method didn't work. It just made my leg really hurt, really hurt. So I took something sharp and I stabbed it, just a tiny poke, right? And that didn't work either. That just made me bleed. It got some of the stuff out, but it didn't get the main bad boy abscess bullshit out of my leg. Also, stabbing myself in the leg, I realized was probably really bad, because I was, it would be really annoying if basically I killed myself before I was going to go on my vacation, on one of my dream vacations. It's like, so yeah, I stopped stabbing myself, because, well, it just wasn't working. It was just making a mess. My bathroom was bad. I did put down a bunch of like kitchen roll, So basically, it wasn't that bad, but it was still bad. You should never stab yourself. Don't stab yourself. Really, seriously, it's not cool. So yeah, so the second day I basically was just feeling really sorry for myself and really bad. And of course I haven't been working while I've been doing any of this. I've been trying to rest. I've been trying to take my mind off of it. I really want to draw, but it's really hard to stay sat here when it was that painful, because it's kind of like it's just on the cusp of being under my leg. It's in my thigh, but it's basically it's just on the cusp of being underneath it. It's not quite underneath it, but it's just on the cusp of being underneath it. So sitting in this chair when it was that painful was not an option. I basically was in here for like 10 minutes. I'd check my mail. I'd do all of the other stuff. I'd upload a picture, every 6 hours or so. And then and then I would leave and go lay on the sofa with lots of kitchen roll around the sofa. And basically just be in pain, and I would just wait for it to get better. Um, so yeah, on the third day, yesterday, it basically was feeling better, but I don't know if that's just my body being used to it. However, it was quite large. Um, so I was like, whatever. And I sat in my office, and because it didn't hurt, I was sitting in here. I played a bit of my video game, and then just when I finished playing on my video game, I felt something like, oh, I thought something was crawling on my leg at first, and then when I looked, of course, this is the really gross part. When I looked, of course, it was actually goo that was leaking down my leg. It wasn't actually something crawling up my leg. It was a liquidy wet sensation that I was feeling. Um, and then I stood up and I ran into the house and stuff, and let it drain, because the initial part had actually, my body had actually gotten rid of some of the goo. Yay! And it felt a little bit, well, it felt a lot better. It doesn't hurt right now. In fact, it basically felt like that. But I still had a lot of inflamed tissue and a lot of scar tissue, new scar tissue now, from the abscess. And that's kind of what's happening now. Basically, throughout that day, it got kind of, it just kept getting better. It kept draining. I kept having to put tissue underneath my leg, and I had a shower and I washed it, and I basically put some antiseptic on it, and it's still kind of like leaking. Let me just check the tissue. But, oh, actually, nothing. Clean tissue, clean. But yeah, I mean, there's a tiny dot. There's a tiny dot. There's a tiny dot of blood on there. But I mean, like, that's nothing. That's nothing. It's because, like, of course, I've got like it's basically a dirt floor in here. I'll put it right back where it was supposed to be. It's basically like it's a wooden floor in here. It's a shed. It's basically like a piece of wood, a piece of insulation foam, and then it's plastic, and then it's stone, because you'll be outside of the office by then. So yeah, I basically don't have, I basically sweep it. If I want to clean the floor, I've got to sweep it, because it's basically chipboard, then insulation foam. So yeah, if you look on my floor, you'd think I'd killed somebody, and if you look outside, I don't think it will still be there. But if you looked outside at the time, you could see like little splotches of blood, or what looks like blood. It's not actually. It wasn't just blood. It was blood and pus and gross stuff. Um, it looks like I killed somebody in here, and then I went into the house. Then I brought the body of the person I killed into the house, and yeah, everything in the house has been cleaned, so that's fine. Because because I just went to the bathroom, and the bathroom's right by the back door, so yeah. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling a lot, way much more better, and totally not like I was gonna like I'm gonna stab myself anymore. So that's something. That's fun. Yeah. It's been really weird. I've looking back on all of this, it just feels like I've been way too dramatic, and it's like, at the time when it was all happening, I kept trying to remind myself. I had this thing when I originally had my accident. I had this thing where I basically kept telling everybody that, whenever somebody came to visit me at the hospital, or asked me what I'd done, because I was in a wheelchair, then I was in crutches, and all that stuff. It's like, oh my God, what happened to you? And I was like, it's fine, nothing. Nothing happened to me. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm alive. It's okay. I would completely downplay it, but But no, I kept continuously getting told by, like, you know, my physiotherapist, and like, you know, nurses. I really like nurses. You know, they're really nice. I really like nurses because they kept reassuring you all the time. But no, they said they always kept being. They kept telling me that it's like, no, don't do that. Don't, especially don't do that in hospitals. You know, it's like, we want to know if there's anything wrong with you. If there's any sign that anything bad is happening in your body, in your mind, anything basically it could be a warning sign of something else. So don't downplay anything, especially when you are actually in pain, or if you are actually, you know, sick or anything like that. I kept getting told that because I would just, even if I was hurting in any way, I'd just basically just be like, no, it's fine. They're like, it's clearly not fine. It's like, no, it's okay. It's like, right. I know it's not as bad as when it actually happened, but you've got to tell us if it still hurts in this location. I'm like, yeah, actually, it really hurts in that location. Yeah. If you are in real, actual physical pain, even if you're in like really emotional pain, it's good to tell somebody. You know, um, especially in hospitals and stuff, because those people aren't asking you just because. They're asking you because they're trying to save your fucking life. So yeah. But yeah. Whenever I've been in pain since, whenever I feel like I've like broken something or whatever since then, I essentially, uh, at the time when I'm actually in pain, I will be like, um, it's like, oh, it really hurts. It's really shit. I really hate this. I tell people about it. It sucks. Um, I tell them that it sucks. But yeah, I mean, if I know I'm recovering and these aren't medical professionals and I want them to leave me alone, then I will usually just say, yeah, I'm good, even if I'm not. You know, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. I feel like but after hand get stuck in my beard. Um, yeah, but after the initial bullshit of the horrible, gross, owie pain, all that stuff. I do feel like I'm being way too overdramatic. Like I've been telling Damon, even when he doesn't ask. I mean, it is kind of his job, but whatever. Even when he doesn't ask, all about how it's like, oh, it doesn't hurt as much. It's still okay. I mean, it hurts a little bit, but it's okay. I mean, it's kind of itchy a little bit, maybe. I don't know. And he didn't ask, but I just feel like I have to tell him. But yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been dealing with for the past like 4 days. This is the fourth day, kind of. So yeah, my brain has been slightly scattered because of this. I've been also annoyed because I fucking hate downtime and being told that I should just rest. Oh, my brain just said, I got this warning light that's like, something moved. Something moved. Creepy. I hate it when that. I hate it when that happens. Did anybody else get that? The kind of like spidey sense of like, it's like, something moved in this room. There's a spider in here. Your brain kind of like just gives you that annoying, like, where's that? What is that? It's kind of like, pay attention. It's like, okay, to what? It's like, I don't know. It's like, thanks, brain. But yeah, it's like one of those random primal residual things that we've got from, like, you know, our hunter gatherer days, you know, just like, you know, it's like something's moving. It's like, where's it moving? It's like, you're gonna have to look for it. It's like, but you're the part of my brain that just alerted me to something moving. Shouldn't you know where it is? It's like, no, that's for your other senses to figure out. It's like, thanks, brain. Thanks. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is called Spider Watch. I called it Spider Watch for an obvious reason. So yeah, I just squeezed my leg just instinctively because I was like, ooh, like, yeah. Anyway, so it's like an interesting and painful few days. Not interesting. It's not interesting. Painful, yes. Annoying, yes, but not interesting. Because, like, I was on a roll, you know, I was in a creative zone. I was basically doing a bunch of commissions. I've got some spending money for Vegas all sorted out because I've done a lot of work. Um, I mean, you guys on the if you've been on my Discord and you've been noticing, like, I was, you know, I was spitting out a completed artwork every 12 hours. It was just like, yeah. And I was spitting out even more sketches, just straight, just like days and days. It kind of like, it was like that. And then it all stopped because my leg hurt. So yeah. But no, this is also, you know, I fucking hate downtime. I fucking hate downtime. I hate basically just being told to rest, take a day, to take a few days off work, all that stuff. I hate that. I hate that so much. Um, Especially when I'm in the zone, you know, in the zone, as they call it, or whatever. Um, yeah, randomly dry throat, mouth. So much better. Mm. Okay. Yeah. So I hate that, but because I've been sitting down, even though I felt better like yesterday and partly today, to be able to be sat here for long periods of time. There's a consequence to sitting down and just playing on my phone, and that is that my eyes actually get too well adjusted. Like, I'm wearing glasses because I am long sighted. And by the way, Panda Fox, wearing glasses. I still can't believe you didn't notice that I was wearing glasses the other day. It's been in videos, it's been in live streams. I wear glasses. But yeah, I wear glasses because I'm long sighted, so everything in front of me is blurry in the first place. But my eyes kind of lock into the ultimate fruit fly. The optimal kind of like, I can kind of see, but I can't. You know, it's still blurry, but this is the least blurry that it can be. However, your eyes are supposed to adjust to depending on, like, you know, how far away things are. So this optimal blurriness thing is kind of like, it's only good if I basically have the sketchbook or whatever I'm working on art wise, like right in front of my face, like here, you know, like this distance. Because the phone's the problem. Because I've just been playing on my phone for the past couple of days. So when I go to draw, I have to, you know, I normally draw at this distance. This is just far enough away for my eyes to kind of do like a weird double vision bullshit thing. Instead of being like right here, I don't want to draw this close. I will poke myself with my pencil. So yeah, it's just I haven't been able to actually draw for the past couple of days. I've been getting better, You know, today I've been getting better because I've been sat here and been playing on the computer most of the time, except for when I had my nap. So I've not been playing on my phone so much, and I should be back to getting on with like artwork fairly soon. So yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, because I've got like a bunch of stuff that I'm doing. I still got like one sketch that somebody hasn't claimed. I've got to check on. Actually, let me just check on that now. I've done like a kind of like a your character here kind of like group sketch thing, and I've been slowly filling that in just before this happened, so that's fun. But the thing is that it kind of like 4 people, like there's 4 slots that people have taken out of like 14, so I've still got like 10 of these slots. So I haven't checked on this for the past couple of days because of that, but let me just go over to Twitter because, like, yep, nobody's claimed any of them. Well, that's kind of a bit of a lame bummer because I can't finish that until they're all done. You know, I'm not going to ink that until all of them are taken. All the sketches are done for the ones that are finished, but yeah, it's kind of like a group, like they're at a party or something. And yeah, there's 14 dudes. I didn't think there were, but apparently there were like 10 almost, just on the top half of the page. And then there's like 5 below it. So yeah. Yep, nobody picking any of those. I'm really annoyed at that. So yeah, if you want to, if anybody's watching this on playback and they want one of these guys, just give me a number and a full description on Twitter. It's on my Twitter. It's pinned on my Twitter at TWATTUBS, TWATTUBBS. Yeah, but it's just a little. I mean, they're little tiny people. They're about this big. Each person is about this big. It's on an A5 piece of paper, so yeah, it's like they're all like that big. So there's not going to be super detailed, but I have done the ones that I have done so far. I'm kind of like I'm pleased with. I'm confident that I got their descriptions down, I think. And yeah, I can modify the size and general shape of them. It's just a sketch. This is a template. I'm gonna fart. I said I'm gonna fart. Nothing happening. Oh really? I didn't have to say anything. It just kind of went whatever. But yeah, I mean, I've got that sketch to work on. But I think that, and there's one more unclaimed picture as well. Yeah, there's one more unclaimed picture as well. But that's on my Discord. I think that's also on Twitter as well, which is like a weight gain progression thing, or it was supposed to be an inflation thing, and I've done that picture, and I just need to ink. I need to ink all of these. I basically have got like none of these have been inked yet, so they're not finished, which is annoying. That's what I've been supposed to be doing. But yeah. Also got an ask. I got an ask from Ellen as well, because she wanted a recreation. And while I'm in America, I've got to send this to her. But she wanted a recreation of the angel, and like I don't know if anybody knows this, but there's like in my office there is it was supposed to be my back tattoo when I was going to have a back tattoo. But there's like up in that corner. I can't show you again because it's messy and gross because of the spider webs everywhere. But up in that corner there is a drawing of an angel, basically, and it's actually not based on her. But later I told her it was. I did also tell her that it's not actually her. She's called Angela because basically it's based off of a different girlfriend, a different girlfriend from high school, as an angel, because she had this kind of angelic quality to her. So I drew her as an angel. But then I basically was like, I kind of want that as a back tattoo. And I did say to myself back when I thought I was gonna, originally my alternate reality life, basically, I married Ellen, and like she was gonna be my wife and everything. So I was gonna modify it to look more like her and stuff, and then I was gonna have it tattooed on my back. So I've always got an angel on my back. Stupid, I know. This is before I found out that my skin probably wouldn't my skin, which has been terrible, probably wouldn't react well to having to being stabbed many times. I've got terrible skin. I've got really terrible skin. I did actually have the ink test where they basically put just like a few, like a circle of different ink samples, and they just kind of like stab you in a circle just here. And I've got that, and my body reacted only to one of the inks negatively. I had a tiny infection on a tiny spot just here, which is super fun. But out of the 6 different inks that they tested on me, basically, it was only one that my body didn't like, and it was mostly probably due to an infection, not actually the ink itself. That is why. By the way, this is a risk. Every time you get a tattoo, you are risking infection. One of the reasons why they put a piece of plastic over it, they give you a bit of cling film to wrap over the site, and then basically tell you not to take it off after a set amount of time. Yeah, the reason why this is because you've been punctured several times, and they don't want to put kind of like antiseptic or anything on it because it could ruin the tattoo. So what they do is instead is they kind of put like a bit of alcohol and they wrap, and then basically that's supposed to like help dry out the skin a little bit and to preserve the tattoo, as well as being slightly antiseptic. And the wrap is basically to protect you from infection. Yeah, but the point is that whenever you have a tattoo, you basically are risking infection because you've just been stabbed many times and injected with a tiny amount of ink. And that's bad, So every time you get a tattoo, people have died from this. People have actually died from this, and it's messed up if you think about it. It's like, oh yeah, I went on holiday, got a tattoo, and then I died. I'm a ghost. It's lame, uncool. Yeah, just they should warn you. They hardly ever, hardly any of the tattoo artists or tattooists, whatever, will warn you. I worked for a guy who basically he only warned like 4 people. The entire time that I was there, that I worked there, he only warned like 4 people. It's like, yeah, by the way, this is going to be a large tattoo, so the risk of infection is quite high. I just want you to know that before you go into this, because it's going to be a big deal. It's like, this isn't like getting just a no big deal tattoo. It's going to be a big fucking deal. You're probably going to pass out from the pain of having been stabbed lots of times, and probably a couple of times, because this is going to be a multi-hour job. And it's like, every single time they were like, all right. They don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit when they get a tattoo. But yeah, Anyway, yeah, I've got terrible skin, so I decided not to have a tattoo where I can't see most of it anyway. Just for the jollies, because it's going to be on my back, just for the jollies of other people to look at. Plus, I'd have to shave my back, and oh my god, when I did attempt this, I had my back, I had a patch of my back waxed as part of a dare, actually, because one of my girlfriends was like, it's like you should try waxing. I was like, I can't really reach back there. She's like, oh no, it's okay, I'll try. Here, slapped it on my back, and then ripped, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not doing that anymore. She was like, I do this on my legs all the time. I was like, that's nice. Do you like hairless men? Is that the thing? Because if you like hairless men, why are we together? But no, she actually really liked the the kind of animalistic me. So I was like, I mean, she was like, I like it. It's fine. You don't have to wax. Like, but have you thought about it? Like, yes, I did, and you just tried, and no. But no, afterwards, that patch got really itchy, like really itchy. So having my back shaved just so that I can get a tattoo there, nah. Besides, you wouldn't see most of it because of the hair. So yeah, it was kind of like a meh. I'm not cool with that. And the tattoos that I was gonna get a tattoo like on my arm, like I was gonna get a patch on my arm. I was gonna get like a navy one maybe on my arm. Um, a territorial, a merchant navy or a territorial like navy thing. Um, the anchor, yeah, because there's like a rule, like you don't have to be in the navy to get a anchor tattoo. If you get an anchor, um, if you get an anchor tattoo just by itself, I knew the rules to this. Or if you see somebody wearing like an anchor, then it just means that it's just an anchor. I think that is the navy. And if you basically have like an anchor with a chain kind of like just around it or something, not fastened to it necessarily, then that means that they are just a fisherman, or if they've worked with the navy, you know, because it's an unbridled chain, which means that it means that it's a loose chain. It basically it's not, you're not chained to the navy. You're not chained to the it's a thing. If it's a rope, then that means that they just worked alongside the navy, or they worked with the merchant navy. And if it's a rope with a knot in the chain, then that means that they've been part. I mean, in the anchor, then that means they've been part of the merchant. It's a whole thing. Okay, navy tattoos are a whole thing. Seaman tattoos are a whole thing. Okay, um, I mean seaman as in like if you're like a fisherman or worked on a boat or whatever, there's a whole art to it. There's a whole like code to it and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, it's like you can be in the navy, so you can have an anchor, and then you can have like the unbridled rope or chain, which means that you were in the navy, but you're not in the navy anymore. See what I mean? How complicated it is? It's a thing. It's weird. The type of rope and knot and all that stuff, they all mean things. Lame. Uncool. I basically had like a chain, and I've got my little anchor, so I don't need a tattoo. So that's something. But yeah, I also designed a tattoo as well, like a circuit board tattoo as well, but I couldn't actually get for this arm. But I couldn't actually get anybody to do it because they said it was too complicated. And it's like, why? It's like, because it's a circuit board. It's like one of the hardest things to do. You know? Ugh. Hi, Bear Tubbs. It's just Tubbs. Love watching the video of you stepping on someone's belly. I've done that a couple of times. I've done it to Ian. I think, like we've got videos somewhere for like Ian and one other guy and also Dave. So yeah. It's a thing. Some people like being stepped on. I don't judge. If it gets you off, then it's a thing. Do you do it to skinny people too? Skinny people can't handle it. I have never been asked by a skinny friend if they would, could you step on me, kind of thing. Resting my foot on them, yes, but I've never been asked to step on them. And mostly big guys with a belly, it kind of cushions that. They've got a lot more cushioning so that they can actually be stood on, especially if like they're a strong fat guy, which is usually the case. It's very strange. I've noticed that there are very, very few weak fat guys. It's like the chunky guys that I'm in contact with. I don't know if this is just like a me friend thing, or if I'm slightly shallow or whatever. But I noticed that basically nearly all, if not all, I can't think of one actually. Like all of the fat guys that I know, that I'm friends with, they all seem to have some kind of muscle behind it. Are you moving again? What stirred you? Spider watch. Yeah, they all seem to have some kind of muscle behind it. They all seem to be like strong fat. They don't seem to be kind of like weak flabby guys. I don't really know any weaky flabby guys. Well, actually, I do know one. I know at least one. I know a couple, but I don't really consider them friends really anymore. I know them. We are friendly to each other, but I don't really, But I think this is the look he's going for, so I don't think he'll be insulted by this. But there's Patch. Doesn't seem to be particularly strong. Kind of looks like he looks squishy. Like if you poked him, he's squishy, But yeah. And his partner as well. They look just very doughy. They don't really look kind of like strong, But apart from that, like I said, I think that's what they're going for. So okay. But yeah, like most of my fat friends tend to be kind of like they tend to have like kind of some kind of muscle behind them. I like to think myself as one of these people as well. Like if you look at me, I kind of have a wrestler build. In fact, that's what I keep getting told this, and yes, it's because I wrestle. It's kind of the point, but it's like it's a thing. I was asking you because I thought you was. I thought that's why you were asking. But yeah, like I don't have any objection to it. But if I sense that I could actually injure you this way, then yeah, it's a possibility that I might accidentally injure my buddy Dave or Ian, But it's like it's only if I'm not careful. And I tend to be very careful when it comes to these things. You know, like the second that I hear any kind of like unwanted pain or, you know, uncomfortableness that is kind of like unexpected, I basically tend to stop, you know, stop what we're doing and all that stuff. Because, you know, there's a very real chance that I could murder them. So, it almost happened one time, you know. So I tend to be like, for the longest time I wasn't really into like wrestling because I basically nearly killed someone, and it kind of traumatized me for a little bit. I still am. I mean, I still like I still have play wrestling, but the full on kind of like, you know, kind of like pinning somebody down, you know, in a hold or a lock or something is kind of like, you know, I'm still not totally okay with. Slight squishing and stuff. I mean, that can be fun, but I do lay off. You know, I lay off Dave every now and again because it turns out that you can't just continuously squash somebody or tickle them while squishing them for days on end, because, you know, people's hearts give out, their lungs give out, you know, they get bruised all the time, and that will eventually kill them. And even if they're having fun, they will die. It's bad, you know. So I tend to, you know, I give Dave a break every now and again with the whole squishing thing. So yeah, I mean sometimes, unless he really annoys me, he really does like teasing me. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean like I mean, if we meet up, if we ever meet up and we get along, then maybe maybe. I mean, I sit on Itchy all the time whenever I meet him. So yeah, but he's okay with that. So it's just that whenever I think about Itchy, just recently for the past couple of days, I keep thinking of that Twix advert. You know, the Twix advert with the two guys, the, you know, the twin brothers. They're camping together in the woods, and they're basically like talking about the Twix. Um, and then there's bears. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have to say much more. We just watched the advert together. It's There's a link to it on my Discord somewhere. It's very funny, but for some reason that advert plays in my head alongside whenever I'm thinking about Itchy, and it's funny. Which is a lot just recently because I'm seeing him soon. I have to get in contact with him actually because it's almost 2 weeks away, and I mean it's almost 2 weeks away. Yep. In fact, what day is it today? Because it's Friday. So it's like an hour ago. It was not Friday. It was still Thursday in the UK. I'm not going crazy. I haven't lost track on what day it is. I literally just am beyond the, you know, midnight point of when the day is. So yeah. Okay. I've been on for an hour, almost exactly an hour. Um, it feels like I've been on for longer. Not in a bad way. I think it's because basically I'm very distracted. I keep thinking there's spiders, and also I need to poop. Time slows down when you need to poop. That's what the tooting is about, that you can't hear apparently because my dressing gown is that good at muffling. But yeah, I need to go. I need to go poop. Didn't do much brainstorming, but what are you gonna do? Um, I mean, I'm still open to ideas for any of these. But yeah, I can wait a little bit. Also, I might just film one of these or two of these or something. If we don't come up with ideas, I might just film them, because once my leg is fully better and I'm going to actually go walk around and stuff, that's another thing. That's what I was going to get to. Yeah, I've been trying my best to basically do a bunch of exercising, so that I can enjoy my vacation without having to worry about that. Get back into exercising and stuff before I go. But this has kind of derailed that, and it's really annoying because I was like all up for it and I was like getting into it. And that's probably what aggravated him. In fact, I was walking around, I was walking more, I was working out, I was doing I was even doing some lightsaber training, some sword training and stuff as well. So like I was really excited to basically, do some training, because on vacation I basically do exercise, but it's mainly like in the pool. I like to have a swim around in the pool. It's so much fun. But that's it. That's all the exercising I do, and walking the strip every now and again. But yeah, it's like, because you basically like work and then break in water. It's so much. Stop it. Ugh. Anyway, well, it doesn't look like I'm about to be attacked imminently. So yeah, I can go poop. Panda Fox said, I can get poop. Woo. Oh. Oh, it's still painful a little bit. But yeah, belly rubs and scratch. And belly salute. And yeah, I'll try to be back around about the same time, probably tomorrow, maybe. And we'll actually do a proper brainstorm. Hopefully. Fuck off, Tiny Fly. I haven't got my bug. I haven't got my bug zapper in my room because the bulb blew out on it, and that was fun. Get it because it's blue. So yeah. Oh shit! Did I lose my bit of tissue? I did. Did I just fall on the floor? Is that on the chair? It's on the floor. I have to bend over and get it, and get a new tissue. Probably do that after I poop. Anyway, yeah, I'll probably be back tomorrow. But yeah. Everybody have a good night. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I might get into art or something after I poop. Who knows? But yeah, everybody have a good day, night, and I'll see you guys later. Toodles. So I was going to wink, but I thought I saw the spider move.